I gave myself 100 days to destroy the entire world and don't starve together, or else you get to control my Twitter for an entire week, and this is how that all worked out. Now, Don't Starve Together is a survival game where everything including hunger, hounds, giants, nightmares, and even darkness itself are all trying to kill you. On top of this, you have to deal with extreme weather that will freeze and overheat you, and if you die and you don't find a touchstone or other means to revive, you will lose everything in the world. For this reason, I'm allowing myself to roll back to a previous save 3 times and making the world smaller than normal, since this game is made for multiple players and I'm taking this on alone. I'm also using the most OP character, Wes, which can't talk, does 3/4 of the normal damage, and has the lowest stats in the game. So yeah, enjoy. As I spawn, the first thing I need to do is to start gathering resources and exploring my environment to find 2 things, pig houses and gold. I need these 2 things to be able to make an alchemy engine, which will allow me to prototype the tools that I will need for this entire run. The good thing is that using Wes's speedy balloon, I can increase my speed at the cost of 5 sanity, just making sure that I top it off by picking a couple of flowers. By the end of day 1, I'm able to find a small pig village and 1 gold boulder, but this is not enough to make a hammer. So on day 2, I mine a couple cave entrances and then use a wormhole that leads me to find the Pig King village and start evicting the locals, as well as finding a bit of gold, but our inventory is getting a bit full. And what do you know, Chester on day 3. A bit more exploring, walking around, and finally a mosaic biome for that sweet gold. This whole challenge relies heavily on gold, so I take the liberty of mining a couple of rocks while Chester fights off Big Bird from Sesame Street, and by day 4, I have enough to set up a small base with a science machine to make the alchemy engine and then use that to make gold tools, which is what I need the gold for. Gold tools will last 4 times as long as normal ones, and since I will be chopping, mining, and digging every single thing on this world, I will need them to last as long as possible. On day 5, I put together my crockpot and start working on my first biome, which will be the mosaic biome, to get all the gold and rocks that I will need. Rocks are also the thing that take the longest to get rid of, so the sooner I finish here, the better. On day 6, I continue getting rid of the trees. The reason I'm lighting them on fire is because a burnt tree will only take 1 hit of an axe to destroy, and I won't need to dig up a stump. However, I am digging up saplings and grass tufts to be able to collect the twigs and grass faster than actually picking them, and at the same time eliminating them from the map. Later on, I choose to simply burn them, but since I'm still gathering resources, I'm not doing that yet. However, it's not all work since I also need to take care of my puppy. But after that, it's back to working on the verge of starvation like every good West main. Day 7, I spent simulating California during summer, and on day 8, making random crockpots so I won't have to walk back to base to make meatballs with ice just like Mama used to make. Day 9, I decide to start a rock collection and then exterminating the tall bird population, doing the worst thing I've done until now. This of course makes me lose my mind by day 10, but luckily we find one of the infinity stones inside a boulder, and on day 11 we finish mining the last rocks using our last sticks, and once we get more sticks on the morning of day 12 we finish our first biome. But remember this image because what happens here later almost makes me quit this challenge. On day 13 we bring some visitors to Peppa Pig, and I decide to make this the target of my next crusade. This for some reason makes Wes go insane again, but since we are carrying around our giant snowball instead of leaving it in the base like a normal person, we have no trouble dealing with a couple of nightmares and finishing the Pig King village by day 14. But we still have a long way to go, so we start on the second half killing a bishop with the help from Pictavius, and we finally finish by day 17. So far we are doing great. With all the mushrooms we dug up, we can make plenty of food and also an icebox. But this is where things start getting a little bad, because the next biome I decide to do is the swamp, where I spent 3 days in it fighting merms or fish that end up spoiling before I use them, getting a train ran on by tentacles, nightmare creatures, and mosquitoes, and then not even finishing half the biome since I run out of grass and then have to run back down to get more, and winter hits and some very aroused beefalo try to get their way with Wes. So I froze to death instead in retaliation. Definitely not because I was stubborn and didn't want to walk back to the base. And while there are touchstones I can use nearby, learning from past experiences, I know I will just freeze to death before I can get my things back. So I take the L and use a rollback and turn these cows into a hat on day 21. I then dig up mushrooms for food on my way home and begin preparing for the third and largest biome of this world. Can you guess what it is? If you guess the forest, then you are 100% correct. And in the name of arson, we do a bit of tomfoolery for the next couple of days. The great thing is that since I'm constantly lighting trees on fire, I'm staying warm enough that a simple thermal stone is good enough to keep us from freezing. And the cold weather will slow down the spoiling of our food so we can carry more at a time, preventing us from having to walk down back to the base every couple of days. But it's not cold enough to keep these damn spiders inside. Okay, you need to die. On day 27, we find our good old friend McNuts. McNuts, give me the tusk. Give me the tusk, McNuts. But with our great luck, we get no tusk from him. However, we have to continue our Willow main simulator, so I keep chopping until day 30, when I have to restock on food just on time because we get deer clubs to help us out with some spiders. Good deer clubs. Good deer clubs. We also introduce her to Mr. MacBook 2.0, but yeah, no tusk again. Tusk. Thankfully, God gave us more trees to take out our anger issues on, and after 5 more days of straight chopping, we finally finished the entire forest. Yes. We are more than a third of the way in on the 100 days, and even though it looks like we are doing a lot, we still have a long way to go. And as day 36 rolls around, we enter the worst season of this challenge for one reason: rain. Rain causes characters to become wet, which makes them lose sanity, have their tools slip out of their hands, and spoil food faster. However, rain will also extinguish items that are smoldering, meaning fires will not be able to spread efficiently, making me have to light almost every single tree individually. And the worst, absolute worst part of spring is that it will make trees grow out of nowhere, meaning it can completely undo all of my progress. So these next days, we spend them wet, hungry, insane, and on the verge of dying multiple times. And yes, before you say it, all of this could have been avoided if I simply made an umbrella earlier. Anyways, I am able to work on the Triple McTusk area all the way through day 42 and then venture into the desert next door and find a miner's hat in a small forest where I finally make an umbrella. I then try to burn down the small forest and the rocky biome behind it, but again, due to the rain, the fire cannot spread, and being low on food with a wave of hounds on me, I have to return to the base. And on night 45, I decide to start working on the forest closest to the base instead of going back to the desert I was already working on. But for now, I have several level 3 spider dens to deal with. And with the help from a trap, I deal with the spider warriors faster, but it's still a lot of charcoal making. Day 51 rolls around, putting us past the halfway mark, and again, terrible decision on my part, I decide to switch biomes again and start burning down the birchnut biome on the other side of my base. Not much happens here besides digging up some mushrooms, and I burned every single tree but did not cut them down. This is important, okay? Remember this. Day 54, I took my doggies to the petting zoo and then showed Chester how I make a living when I was 14 looting graves. We only found a life-giving amulet, which is great since I can use it to revive instead of a touchstone or rolling back. Usually we will need to make a prestigious hat tomato to make one, but we beat the 3.07% odds. And now we are on the best season of this challenge, good old summer. Although a lot of overheating, forest fires will spread a lot better, so burning down trees is the best thing to do during this time. But for some reason on day 57, I could not for the life of me find all the flint I had gotten. So I had to go back into the mosaic biome, and yeah, many of these rocks were back, which made me so mad. And this is pretty much our progress summarized. Now, cue the epic forest montage. finished the forest close to base, and I wanted to finish up the swamp, so we burned a couple of reeds and evicted some merms, sorry words, and then took a couple steps and I realized that the first forest was back. Oh my god, no dude, don't fucking do this to me right now. Don't fucking do this. I really did not want to, but I had to chop them all again. Well, at least a few, because I then said fuck that, but just like they say, you can run but you can't hide. Because after making it back to base, this is also when I found out the birch biome for some reason had trees that I had already burned green again. Oh, you're fucking serious. You're fucking kidding me, right? And then I died. So now, roll back to the first forest again. I have no way around it. I have to clear this. And yes, it sucked, but I got most of it done. And then I walked the entire birchnut biome. And yes, every single tree was back. Even the fucking sapling. But no time to be upset because we have company over. And I mean big company. Afterwards, I spent a couple days burning down the birch forest again. But was interrupted yet again. So I quickly ran to the other forest from spawn, and after he attacked little Chesterino and I caught him eating some rot. You're eating rot? What a dumbass. I just had to go into him. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You're a waste of space, you stupid son of a... Give me that fucking honey. Bitch, you want this fucking honey? Come over here. You gonna eat that too? Stupid. Yeah, we can both share. After roasting him, I took him for a walk to help clear out some trees. Move here because I know you have ADHD. You have a short attention disorder. But sadly, it didn't last too long. Oh my god! I think he died, guys. Anyways, day 79, we finished the birchnut biome, and with 21 days left, I followed into the bee queen biome and finished it by day 83. When I also proceeded to empty the fridge because I have 2 deserts, a forest, a savanna, and a swamp to take care of in 17 days. But not before feeding the beefaloes. On the 84th night, I begin by setting ablaze the forest, but quickly realized it's better to focus on the grasslands first, since trees will burn faster. But maybe 8 days was a bit long, and winter hit in the middle of it, spawning several pingos, which made ice spawn. On day 93, we summoned Mr. Krabs. And then afterwards, Deerclops for a second time, killing Chester in just the right place that all my food inside caught on fire. Are you fucking serious? You got fucking aimbot or what, dog? You got fucking aimbot? Fuck you, dude. That's right. Fucking kill him. Chester! Oh my god. Fuck. Bitch, he didn't last very long either. Fuck. Oh my. Good, bro. Good. Stupid. But it only gets worse from here. Halfway through the forest, I found a big problem. When worlds are active for a while, trees begin to petrify, meaning they turn into stone, and I can no longer knock them down with one hit. All of these fucking trees are made of stone? Are you fucking... While all of this is going on, I'm still trying to avoid swarms of spiders, shadow creatures, and keeping myself from freezing. But I know I can still pull this off if I'm just faster. I just need to light a fire, chop and mine the tree, and while the others burn, I'm so close. I can almost taste it. I just need a little bit... Just a little bit more. A lot more. Okay, I wasn't even close. Got most of it. These petrified trees messed me up a lot, but we got all of this. We got the bee biome. We got the beefalo biome, all the grass. We got one of the birch nut. Then we got the entire rocky biome. We got one of the forest. We got the pig king village. We got most of the swamp. All of this was already burned. This was just ashes. I didn't get to do this side of the swamp. We've got this entire forest, but as you guys know, it all grew back, so... And we still needed both of the deserts, so we got pretty much most of the map.